Hey everyone, this is Abby. Let's hope 3 times is a charm for this video. This is my 10-month on HRT video, and I'm going to preface this with the monologue that is spoken at the end of the movie SuckerPunch. It's been highly relevant to this last month. Who honors those we love for the very life we live? Who sends monsters to kill us, and at the very same time sings that we'll never die? Who teaches us what's real and how to laugh at lies? Who decides why we live and what we'll die to defend? Who chains you, and who holds the key that can set us free? It's you. You have all the weapons you need. Now fight. The reason that that is so relevant is because this has been a very tumultuous month for me, and the fact that so much of what has been tumultuous has been here. There's certainly been life events on the outside, but there's been a lot to deal with on the inside. And, you know, I've managed to go through 2 sets of friends with benefits in the course of a month. And that has every bit to do with good judgment on my part and realistic expectations in defining adult boundaries and things like that, but it also has a lot to do with a lack of self-acceptance inside of me. And at a crux, the last time was due to the fact that someone set off what was a time bomb that was ticking inside of me. You know, I look in the mirror now at 10 months. 10 months estrogen, spironolactone is 11, so 10 months estrogen. And I see a woman's face, a woman's torso, a woman's hips, a woman's legs, calves, feet, hands. But what I see between my legs repulses me. And some days that's really, really hard. And some days I have a lot of acceptance, and I'm patient, and I am attentive to the serenity prayer, which is, you know, grant me the serenity to accept the things that I cannot change, the courage to change the things that I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. And I'm working to change those things that I can, and I'm working to find acceptance for the things that I cannot, at least right now. But that isn't always easy. And, you know, this past Saturday, I went into a rabbit hole of depression that I had not seen since before I became sober. And I'm coming up on 4 years of sobriety at this point. And honestly, I don't know if I would have made it back out of it, or in what state I would have been if I came back out of it without the amazing and beautiful friends that I have here in the recovery community in Seattle and in the GLBT community within Seattle. You know, I do have an outline, and, you know, one of the things that I think is highlighted by that is a quote by Zackery, who is a trans woman, activist, artist, performance artist, who said in one of her pieces, Zackery, the name throws me off, you will never be a real woman. You will not ever be a real woman. And this is Zackery. Zackery is beautiful, absolutely stunning, and Zackery has not had bottom surgery. Yet nonetheless, at least to me, in my eyes, is a phenomenally attractive human being. But sometimes it's just really hard to see your own beauty, isn't it? I think that where I want to go with this is the fact that there are a lot of things within our society and a lot of people who would not accept us, who would label us not real women or medically mutilated men, as the case may be. We have a choice if we're going to harbor resentments and anger toward those types of mentalities, and even worse, if we're going to internalize them into ourselves and how we view ourselves, and to feed that inner transphobia, to send our own monsters to kill us, right? You know, there's enough of it in the real world. Trans woman activist was recently found tortured to death in Mexico. This is a statuette given to me by my lovely dear friend and lavender husband, Michael. He believes my spirit angel, one of my spirit animals, is a giraffe. This bracelet belonged to a friend of his, Brandy, in LA, who was beaten to death for being a transgender woman. I have the card of another friend that I knew here in Seattle who took her own life. So, it's a difficult path sometimes. It really, really is. And this month has proven that to me, and it has proven to me that without the support of those around me, that I don't know where I would be, and I certainly would not be the happy, positive person that you have seen in the other videos. And really, that person is very much still here, despite the somber note or somber tone of this video. But I do think that it was important to be realistic about the ups and downs. You know, I'm trying to get to a place in terms of acceptance of myself, you know, where I do recognize that I am a female-bodied human and that I have something that needs corrected, fine, but I'm trying to get there. You know, this path has given me wisdom that a lot of people do not have, and it's that wisdom of trying to exist in this society, living it as two different genders. That has provided me a lot of empathy toward others into helping them overcome the prisons of the gender binary and their own expectations of themselves to be a real man or real woman, regardless of what they were born as. Because let's face it, there are a lot of cissexual women and men out there who destroy themselves mentally with their own self-revulsion, regardless of whether or not others judge them as physically beautiful or ugly or somewhere in between, right? You know, as a friend of mine said, quoting the Invincibles, we are not at war. This is a rescue mission. And we as trans people, by our very example, by embracing this life, this path, this way, we offer opportunities for others to grow beyond the boxes that society has placed upon them, and to gain freedom and appreciation of themselves in entirety. We're no longer talking about a gender binary. We're talking about something like the periodic table of elements that all combine in unique ways and in variations to express an individual's gender, right? Genders. With that, I want to segue, because I think it's really important. I'm running up on 8 minutes to say that I would have never gotten to these places. I would have never gotten to be the happy, gregarious person that I am in transition. I would have never actually got to know Abigail if I were not in a place that was safe and supportive to me with a lot of friends. I gave an interview recently with a fella, Jay, who's doing a documentary on YouTube, on the YouTube gender community, transgender community. And one of the things that we discussed at length was how important it is to find an opportunity to relocate if you currently are living in an area that has a lot of prejudice and bigotry towards the transgender. It's so difficult to flourish in an area like that. For me, I would have never became the person that I am today were I still living in Baltimore, period. And I think that the last thing that I want to say is, well, actually, in terms of being an attractive person, I went to the Cuff last night for the Mr. Leather contest, and I was wearing a latex dress and a corset. And it was phenomenal that only about 2 people actually said something negative to the note of being transgender, and most people were very flirtatious. So I was an attractive human being, regardless of the perception. And to end with that, to Kelly, I'm really sorry that I did not make more time to talk with you last night. That was a bit rude, but I really did need to run off. And I hope that you're doing well, and I hope that all the rest of you are doing well, and that I hope 12 months for me brings a little bit more positivity and gregariousness into that video. Take care, everyone. Bye.